Although Ark's vanilla cast of creatures is huge, there's no denying that modded creatures can introduce some much needed variety through new designs, abilities, and mechanics. In this video, I'll rank my 20 favorite creature mods in Ark Survival Ascended, but first, let's set some criteria to make this ranking as objective as possible. I'll be ranking the creature mods based on 3 main criteria. The first criteria is the design of the creatures, second is the versatility of the creatures in the mod pack, and thirdly is the strength and balancing of the creatures. A creature being game-breakingly strong immediately removes any chance of it making the list, as those types of mods simply aren't something that I'm personally a fan of. How the creature fits into the game is very important to me, and a mod pack having multiple cool creatures will also boost its placement on this list. Another thing I should note is that every single mod pack I mentioned on this list is available on crossplay, and I won't consider premium creatures. I also won't count Ark Editions creatures because they're already coming to the base game, so I don't really consider them as modded creatures, and I've already made a video ranking all these creatures in the past, so I don't really want to go over them again. Without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get into number 20. The Myelania from Xiphias' creatures is definitely not the strongest, most versatile, or practical creature on the list, but is ridiculously fun to use. It's similar in appearance to the Dodic, but it packs way more of a punch and is larger. The feature of the Myelania that puts it just inside the top 20 creature mods in Ark is its mortar saddle. You can bury the Myelania under the ground, and it will be able to blast mortar shells that can damage metal structures. I also really like this thing's design, it just lacks the versatility for it to be any higher than number 20. The Magna Gecko is the only modded shoulder mount I have on my list, and it's by far my favorite modded shoulder mount in Ark. Firstly, its design is incredible. The Glowtail wishes it was this cute. The best part about the Magna Gecko though is absolutely its tail mechanic. You're able to chop off the gecko's tail to bait in any temperament of creature. This has been most effective from my experience for taming Tapajaros with ease. Trapping passive flea dinos has never been easier, and the tail regenerates after 10 real-life minutes as well, so it's always ready when you need it. The gecko also has an additional 40% weight reduction on top of the standard shoulder mount weight reduction, so it's definitely worth bringing along on your next journey. The Edistis from Forgotten Fauna is similar to the Megalodon in size, but it's better in almost every other way. It has slightly better stats with no pack buff, and a wide set of abilities that make the Edistis an extremely useful utility creature. It's equipped with a heavy bite that's not only powerful, but harvests a mod-exclusive item called Carved Meat. This meat is a very strong taming food choice for all carnivores on both land and sea. It also has a tail spin attack where the Edistis can stun nearby enemies, and this stun ability in combination with its blazing speed makes the Edistis essentially unkillable underwater as long as you retreat. The design is pretty cool, but it's a bit goofy looking for my liking. Definitely a cool creature with cool mechanics though. The Monolophosaurus is another creature that's under the Forgotten Fauna name, but when you go to CurseForge you can clearly see that these mods are separate, so I've separated them on my list as well. The Monolophosaurus serves a specific niche in the Ark community extremely well, being one of the best caving mounts out there. I love using this guy for the swamp caves, especially on every map, because of the shield attachment on its saddle. The shield attachment protects you from projectiles, as well as creatures attacking you from the front. Most importantly, this attachment protects you from the poisonous air in certain caves, meaning you don't even need a gas mask to get through them. The Monolophosaurus also gets a buff that is a weaker version of the Megatherium buff, where killing bugs makes it stronger. It's also fast, has a helmet attachment that can be used in place of the shield to boost melee damage, and is equipped with a pretty solid jump that lets it handle parkour caves with ease. With all these tools at its disposal, this creature is pretty hard to beat for the non-underwater caves. The main comparison you may draw is to the Baryonyx. I think the Monolophosaurus is undoubtedly better in the swamp caves and could be debated with the Baryonyx for any cave that doesn't involve water. The Meraxes from Big Al's Meraxes TLC is a pretty large carnivorous creature that's slightly weaker than the Rex statistically. To start things off positively, the Meraxes has a fantastic design. It's easily one of the best on this list. It looks even better when its rage mechanic is full and the scales illuminate, which is insanely cool, especially at night. It has one of the coolest cinematic roars in Ark to top off the amazing design. It's just fantastic. The Meraxes is also equipped with significant weight reductions to hide, chitin, keratin, each being reduced to 50%, and an insane 75% weight reduction to pelt. It also has a secondary roar, where it enables 10% lifesteal on damage dealt through bites and consumes food faster to boost regen. The Meraxes also has a stomp attack and a cool taming method where it consumes your baby creatures. Just all around an awesome concept while not being game-breakingly strong. The Shotungosaurus from the Deimos variants mod may appear to be a bit goofy, but don't let the appearance fool you. Although it does appear to be similar to the Iguanodon, it is very different. It's extremely good at farming wood and berries due to its great weight stat, and is an exceptional choice of creature if you're looking for some herbivores to balance out the awesome modded carnivores that I'm showing off in this list. The Shotungosaurus can hold its own with most threats in Ark, and it can outrun most creatures with its great stamina and speed as well. You can also use weapons while on the back of the Shatungosaurus, so if you are weaker than the thing attacking you, you can balance the scales there. The Diamantinosaurus from the Aussie editions is a sauropod that's slightly bigger than the Bronto and smaller than the Dreadnoughtus. It's the ultimate mobile-based creature in Ark, as it's equipped with 3 separate saddle attachments that offer various weight reductions and can even create med brews passively over time. The weight reduction on this thing with a proper saddle attachment choice is one of a kind and makes it have the most potential of any mobile-based creature by a wide margin. The design of the saddles is something that I'm a huge fan of as well, and the sauropods will always look great, so the design is another strong point in my opinion. It also farms extremely effectively and has a huge stomp attack similar to the Brachiosaurus from Ark Editions, so not much in PvE can slow this beast down. The Griffins from Marnie mods contain 2 new variants of the Griffins, and it's my favorite mod of the best flyer in Ark by a pretty wide margin. Its appearance is essentially a hybrid between the Snow Owl's face and tail with the Griffin's body. The mod contains the basic Owl Griffin, which is smaller in size and spawns in the jungle and mountains, as well as the Royal Owl Griffins, which are larger and spawn in the snow biome. Both of these Griffins are gendered, so you can breed both of them, and they have saddles that function like RG saddles. These saddles offer weight reduction on heavy resources and act as a portable smithy. Part of the reason this is ranked so highly is definitely because of the lack of Griffins in Ark Ascended currently, but the mod is incredible, and I can't wait to see what Marnie comes up with next because on her CurseForge page, she's noted that more Griffins are coming soon. One last thing to note for this mod pack is these Griffins might have the best animations out of every creature on this list, so I'd definitely give them a spin. The Barsboldia from the Creatures Compendium is an absolute beast. I love everything about it except the design of the base creature. For those commenting, I'm fully aware that this is based off a real dinosaur. I'm just not a fan of the dinosaur's appearance at all. I think the mod team did a fantastic job with what they were using. After you knock out this mighty dinosaur with boulders or cannons, you'll unlock one of the most versatile battle mounts in all of Ark. It has a strong stomp attack, a ridiculously overpowered smash attack, and tops all of these powerful abilities off with unique methods of buffing itself and great stats. The Barsboldia actually receives various different stat buffs when it eats different kinds of berries, and these buffs can be stacked all at once, making this already strong creature even more powerful. The coolest thing about this creature is the design of its saddle. It's a medieval theme and makes the alright looking creature an absolute badass. The saddle is also equipped with a cannon, which is definitely inefficient to use regularly because of the resource costs, but it's so awesome that it may just be worth it for style points. The Eocarcharia from Tristan's additional creatures is essentially a stronger version of the Allosaurus in terms of stats, with comparable pack buffs. The creature is able to place 3 distinct armor pieces on top of its saddle, giving it a sky-high defensive rating. Once tamed, the Eocarcharia has a custom mushroom set in its inventory that can be used to buff your tames through force feeding in various ways. There is a speed, strength, defense, and health stew available for use. I'm not a huge fan of this thing's appearance, but the armor makes it look very formidable, which I'm a fan of. Hey, if you're enjoying the video and want to support the channel, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It helps out the channel a ton and allows me to work on bigger videos I have planned. Also, if you want to join my first ever community event that's taking place at the end of the month with huge prizes, join my Discord down below. Thanks. Without further ado, let's get into the top 10. The Civatherium from the Ark Wilds mod isn't a super flashy creature by any means, but it's very cleanly designed and executes its role in the game really well. For its combat abilities, it's equipped with a headbutt and a rear kick for damaging, and a defensive stance that reduces damage taken by a whopping 80%. The best part of the Civatherium, however, is its infrared vision and passive ability. It can turn on infrared vision and scan wild dino stats while in this mode, and the Civatherium's passive ability indicates to the rider when there's a max level creature nearby. These 2 abilities in combination with its excellent mobility makes the Civatherium extremely useful and convenient to have while not being overpowered. The Hatzegopteryx from Xiphias' Creatures is another mod that is just amazing. This huge bird is similar in size to the Quetzal and has an even cooler design than the Quetzal in my opinion. The creature has a couple of cool features I want to show off. First, it consumes spoiled meat similar to a vulture and spoils meat in its inventory faster than usual spoil timers for this reason. The Hatzegopteryx gets the rotten mouth buff when harvesting corpses, and while this buff is active, you do not want to get bit by this flying behemoth. This buff makes it so targets hit during the duration lose extra health as well as losing food. The Hatzegopteryx can also do a roar to locate nearby alpha creatures and has a vomit breath ability that disables enemies from being able to jump as well as slowing them down temporarily. In terms of strength, it's similar statistically to a Rex, so it's easily one of the strongest aerial mounts in Ark. To top all of these features off, the Hatzegopteryx can swallow small creatures whole and is able to carry creatures in its mouth up to the size of a Diplodocus. Moronata's Nothosaurus is one of the coolest creatures in the entirety of modded Ark and is the first out of 3 creatures from Moronata on my list. The Nothosaurus is a mix between a Komodo dragon and a salamander and has a plethora of useful and unique abilities. Its wide range of 5 abilities are electric attacks that are decently powerful, and the Nothosaurus is not only strong on land. The water is really where this beast thrives, as it's fast, has a barrel roll similar to the Pteranodon while swimming, and the Nothosaurus is able to scan for and harvest silica pearls with great efficiency. Getting hit by a jellyfish or electric eels isn't a problem either, as that actually powers up the Nothosaurus by charging its electrical abilities. The versatility of the Nothosaurus alone makes it one of my favorites on the list, and it being at 8th place speaks more to the top 7 being incredible than anything to indict this creature. The thorax spider or jumping spider from Cyrus's Critters, whatever you want to call it, might be the most fun thing to use on this list. With that being said, there's a couple of things holding it back from the top tier of modded creatures in my eyes. It comes with exceptional movement, as it can climb almost any surface and is able to jump massive distances in a short time, and this makes up for its lack of raw movement speed. It also has a very fun design, as well as a toggle between basic and torpor bites. Its torpor bite is actually fairly effective at knocking out creatures because it can pin down a lot of smaller targets. My only issue with the thorax spider is its versatility compared to the top tier of modded creatures. It just simply doesn't have a wide array of uses. The huge leaps are nice and the weight stats very solid, but it's too environment dependent to be consistent, so I had to dock it a few points. At number 6, I have Moronada's Indomitable Duo, which consists of the Mororaptor and the Mororex. These essentially are just the Indorex and Indoraptor with Moronada's name in front as opposed to Indo. My favorite thing about these creatures is their designs and how they control. The designs are sleek and the abilities are more polished than most vanilla creatures. They both have diverse sets of abilities that are absurdly powerful, including stomps, grabs, spins, and powerful bites all in one creature's disposal, which brings a variety that most vanilla creatures sorely lack. It's also able to go invisible, of course, which is very awesome. The other thing that I love about these creatures is that you can craft them with modded items using other creatures as DNA on top of just being able to tame them outright. I think this ability is really cool and fits the mod perfectly. The major issue I have with this mod pack is that the Mororex is able to enter boss arenas, and it's simply far too strong for this to be balanced. Moro's Indomitable Duo is easily one of the coolest mods in the entirety of Ark though. In 5th place, I have the third and final creature from Moronada's mod set on my list, which is the Tylosaurus. I don't even like the underwater portion of Ark very much, and I simply cannot deny the fact that the Tylosaurus is one of the coolest mods I've ever seen. This is essentially the Mosasaur's little brother, being a quicker, smaller, and more maneuverable version of the Mosa. The Tylosaurus comes equipped with some exceptionally useful abilities, including a saddle that lets you breathe while riding regardless of if you have scuba or not, 90-degree turning attacks like the Sarco, and a death roll that's a better version of the Sarcos. The Tylosaurus is also able to jump in and out of the water, which grants it a significant health regeneration buff for a short time. Its best ability, however, is definitely its venom passives. The Tylosaurus passively generates 3 types of venom in its inventory, and each of them serve a unique purpose. It has a pheromone, toxic, and torpor venom at its disposal, and you can upgrade the venoms through a radial menu as you level the Tylosaurus up. To top off all these features, the Tylosaurus can even craft narcotics in its inventory using that torpor venom I just mentioned, just another awesome feature on this awesome creature. At number 4, I have the Sunken World Editions, which is the biggest mod pack in this whole video. The mod pack has 11 creatures in total, and while I do love about half of them, I think all of them are pretty good. They also have custom C-scale armor, and plan to add more creatures into the pack in the future. Here's my favorite 3 that are currently in the pack. The Hinotus is the new best version of a raft in the game, because it doesn't die to whales and can burrow itself underground on the ocean floor while providing oxygen to players that are on the raft. It's really awesome, I would definitely recommend trying this out, and the space on the back of this thing is pretty good as well. Being able to live on the ocean floor in the early game of Ark is something that's never been possible or even thought of before, so I think this is a really cool feature. The Matter Pisces is a new fish that acts as a nanny for underwater creatures by both being able to collect the delicate sea eggs as well as protecting the babies. This is extremely convenient considering how many strong underwater tames this mod pack adds. The Sphyrna is the third and final creature I'm going to talk about, and it's a hammerhead shark that acts kind of similarly to the Dunkleostis. It isn't insanely fast, but it is powerful, and the design is amazing after the recent TLC that it received. The Sphyrna is exceptionally good at farming as well, due to its ability to use electroreception to farm oil and metal at very high efficiency. Its saddle also acts as a smithy, so it really is the full package in terms of farming. The Apex Predator version of the Paleo Ark mod is at 3rd place on my list, and I'm really picking at straws to differentiate these top 5. This mod pack consists of the Evo Giga and the Evo Rex, and both of these creatures are absolutely incredible. With improved designs, animations, and mechanics, this pack turns the Rex and the Giga from outdated classics in the vanilla game to some of the most powerful and polished creatures the game has to offer. With diverse movesets like stomps on top of the regular bites, as well as a tighter control over these dinosaurs are immersive to use in battle. The creators also added in stealth mechanics to the Giga, which also helped elevate two of Ark's most iconic creatures even more. Paleo Ark Evolution's Apex Predators pack replaces the regular Rex and Giga entirely, and I see zero argument for this not being a TLC the game receives at some point. They're also allegedly working on a Paleo version of the Brontosaurus, Parasaur, and Mosasaur, so there's even more to come, and I'm very excited to see what they come up with next. At number 2, I have the Zaldrir Dragon from Dragon's Kingdom. This might be the coolest creature on the list. I can confidently say that the Zaldrir Dragon design is the coolest of any creature I've ever seen in Ark. The mod introduces 5 tiers of the dragon that increase in power and size as you go up the tiers. To get a dragon for yourself, it's as simple as knocking out the wyvern and taking the fertilized egg out of the inventory. The reason I love this mod, besides the perfect design, is the flight mechanics. It flies like a griffin with its gliding ability, and it just feels awesome to soar around on this beast. This dragon is also equipped with an incredible looking flame breath as well. Where the Zaldrir Dragon really thrives is that it's balanced, not so fantastical to the point where it makes it feel out of place, while having a completely amazing design. At number 1, I have the Vectispinus from Tristan's Additional Creatures. The Vectispinus has everything you could ever want in a modded creature. It's fast on both land and in water, doesn't have an oxygen stat so it can dive deep into the water with no problem, and has a bunch of different features about it that make it extremely versatile in combat. It comes with a Hydro Breath where it shoots out some pretty high damage water, a UD buff roar that works on Spinosaurus and Baryonyx, and 2 saddles. The Vectispinus also has both a basic saddle and an artillery saddle. These saddles are just another reason why this awesome dinosaur is so versatile. Lastly, you can sit down this creature where it has a health regeneration buff while it's resting, which is just really cute. I think the Vectispinus fits the feel of Ark better than every other creature on the list, and it also brings a lot to the table, so that's why I put it in first place. The only other one that I really considered was the Paleo Ark mod, but I just didn't feel right about putting a mod into the top slot of my list that isn't introducing new creatures, but just TLCs for current ones. Honestly, all these top few were toss-ups, and every single creature that I mentioned on this list is fantastic and totally deserves a try. I'll be placing the CurseForge links for every single mod that I talked about in this video on my Discord server if you want to go check them out. If you enjoyed and want to learn more about creatures you may not have used before, check out my video on screen now where I rank Ark's top 15 underrated creatures. See you there. Bye!